Welcome to the channel. I'm Midnight Stories 32 and you're watching The Hunt for the Highway Shooter. Is Leslie Merritt Jr. the highway shooter, or did the Phoenix PD allow a domestic terrorist to get away? Before we get into the content, please leave a like and a comment. If you really want to be an overachiever, go ahead and subscribe. We have a goal to hit 50 subscribers by the end of September and we can't do it without your help. Now, let's get into the intro.
Officials are calling another case of domestic terror.
Starting with breaking news, it's been a very dangerous day for Valley drivers on Interstate 10. Taking aim at drivers on the I-10.
Delivery truck was shot at.
Crime scenes here multiply. Today alone, 5 new reports of vehicles struck by projectiles.
That's now at least 11 vehicles that have come under fire on or near the I-10 in the past 2 weeks.
Innocent drivers along I-10 worry they may be in the crosshairs of a shooter.
Who wants to be driving on I-10 when there's bullets flying around?
It's the middle of Phoenix, Arizona's blistering hot summer, and temperatures can rise as high as 115 degrees. Phoenix, Arizona is the United States' 5th largest city and has 1.7 million residents across 517 square miles. There's only 3 major highways that run through Phoenix, which means that there's usually some congestion on the freeway. The largest of the freeways is the I-10. The Interstate 10 gets as wide as 6 lanes on each side and averages over 300,000 vehicles per day. Now, imagine, it's early in the morning and you're rushing to work, and in the middle of all the stop and go traffic you hear a loud bang. You feel disoriented because the bang was loud, but you look around and nobody's making eye contact. Pull over to the side of the road to see what happened and you see a large bullet hole penetrated your vehicle. This was the unfortunate reality for many Arizona residents. It was August 27th, 2015, and by 11:15 a.m., the Phoenix PD had already responded to 3 different shootings along the I-10. A 4th vehicle was struck by a bullet, but except this time it happened at night. The story started to get a lot more momentum, so the Phoenix PD started to invest more money in trying to catch the perpetrator.
Tonight, the reward to catch whoever is taking aim at drivers on the I-10 just went up to $5,000. We've been telling you about this since last weekend. 4 vehicles shot, including an SUV, tour bus, and work truck, all happening between 16th Street and 59th Avenue. DPS has received more than 100 tips so far. If you saw anything, call 480-WITNESS.
By September 6th, 3 additional shootings occurred over the course of 2 different days. The shooter began to change his habits and did it across a larger radius at different parts of the day. Other shootings also occurred, but it was determined that they were done by copycats because the projectiles used were completely different than what the original shooter was using. The shooting made national attention and Arizonians were frightened to commute to work. The DPS plastered signs all across the valley with tips on how to identify the shooter. On September 10th, the 11th and final shooting occurred. By now, the Phoenix PD was working with the ATF and the FBI.
Last night, a 21-year-old landscaper named Leslie Merritt Jr. was charged with 4 of the 11 confirmed shootings, which does raise the question, has the case been entirely solved?
This suspect presents a dramatic and profound threat to the community.
Shackled in prison stripes, 21-year-old Leslie Merritt Jr. was defiant at his first court appearance.
May I speak?
He's accused of at least 4 of the 11 freeway shootings that have panicked Phoenix drivers for weeks. A judge had just ordered Merritt held on $1 million bail and warned him about self-incrimination. But Merritt spoke anyway.
All I have to say is that I'm the wrong guy. I tried telling the detectives that.
But authorities say they have the right guy because they traced his gun to a local pawn shop.
Leslie Merritt Jr. might have been behind bars, but something didn't feel right. Why were only 4 shootings linked to him? Was there another shooter? Were the police holding something from the public? The judge ended up placing a gag order on the case, and there was a ton of secrecy amongst just about everything. 7 months later, Leslie was released from jail on a $0 bail. The state couldn't pursue the charges because there was a significant gap in the case. Leslie couldn't be placed with the gun that the police forensically linked him to. In fact, the gun had been pawned 3 separate times by unrelated people. Leslie filed 2 different lawsuits against the state of Arizona for false arrest. One case is pending for $2 million, and the other case was settled for $100,000. At this time, the I-10 shootings is still being investigated. The local media has outlined a suspect who they think did it, but there haven't been any charges placed against him. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you're interested in learning more about true stories. Until next time, Midnight Stories 32.